What's going on, family? In today's video, my wife and I, we're gonna share with you how to approach someone when you're kind of on the fence. Perhaps you're interested in a sister or a brother, and you know in your heart, this is somebody who perhaps I could be interested in, somebody I could marry or date or spend the rest of my life with. But Ryan, I think that they're the one for me, but maybe I approach them and they don't feel the same way. Maybe they're not interested in me. How do I get over my fear, and how do I go and approach them? Are you dealing with this? Well, perhaps you're not. And if you're not, maybe it's a nice video for you to share with somebody who perhaps is, or somebody who you know that's single. Because there's so many people, and not everyone that's single necessarily is looking around saying, oh, I want to talk to this sister and this brother, but there's plenty of people who are reaching out to my wife and I, and that's actually one of the reasons why we're covering this subject, that are asking, hey, I'm interested in this brother, this sister, this elder, this servant, this whoever, but they're afraid of going up to that person. Because what do we fear most in life? Well, for most of us, it's failure or it's rejection. And so many people, they want to do crazy things in life. They want to achieve all these big goals and all this stuff. But the problem is, nothing in life is guaranteed. Not paradise, not resurrection. Nothing is guaranteed in life. So how do you overcome that fear? Well, the best way for you to approach this brother or approach this sister would be you focusing on why you want to approach them, right? Normally when people want to do something, they have to have a big enough why. They have to overcome the fear of the pain, and there has to be a certain amount of pleasure. Because think about it, every decision that you go to make in life comes down to those two things, either pain or pleasure. When you wake up in the morning, people who don't go to the gym, they associate so much pain to going to the gym and more pleasure to sleeping, that once their brain makes that connection, they're probably gonna stay in bed. But for some people like my wife and I, we associate, hey, if I stay in bed, I'm gonna feel an immense amount of pain later. I'm gonna feel a lot of regret. I'm gonna feel bad about my body and myself. So it's gonna cause me pain if I don't go, and I'll get the pleasure of knowing that I did what I said I was gonna do. So every decision that you make in life comes down to pain and pleasure. But when it comes to dating and you wanting to approach them, you have to understand, hey, if I don't approach them and somebody else does, another sister or another brother, and perhaps he was interested in you, but because you never said anything, he didn't think that you liked them or she didn't think that you liked her, and somebody else approached them, and now they start talking to them, perhaps your best friend or somebody else. Now how would you feel? Right? You're gonna associate so much pain to that, and you're gonna be so upset with yourself because you're gonna think, hey, no, I was about to go up to them. I was about to tell this brother or this sister, but you don't understand. I was gonna do it tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month, but I was just waiting. You're not supposed to go up to them, but hey, look, you missed out on your opportunity. And that single sister, that single brother, hey, they gotta do what they gotta do. And maybe now they were interested in you, but you kind of missed out on your opportunity. So perhaps you can associate that pain of what could happen if you don't do it tomorrow or tonight or after this video. You have to associate all the pain to what if somebody else reaches out to them and I miss my opportunity. And then they get married, and here I'm thinking my whole life, he or she married my best friend or this brother or this sister or whoever, and they were supposed to be married to me, but I just didn't take my opportunity, and that could be something that you regret for the rest of your life. Do you want to live like that? Hopefully I'm hitting some pain points on you. And then the other thing you have to focus on is the pleasure. So there has to be a certain amount of pleasure. So you have to focus on, okay, if I do go up to them and they do give me the response I'm looking for, what kind of pleasure will I gain? Hey, I get the satisfaction of knowing. That's pretty cool, right? You'll get the certainty, whether they like you or not. At least you'll gain the certainty of knowing, hey, they're interested in me. Or maybe they're not. But now you don't have to worry about it. Now you can move on to the next brother, the next sister, or you don't have to move on to anybody. But you can get out of that place in your life where you're constantly wondering or guessing, do they want me? Are they interested? What do you think? What advice would you give to somebody who is a sister and she wants to approach an elder or a servant or a brother or a pioneer or just a regular Jehovah's Witness, and she's interested in them, but she's scared of, hey, what if I go up to them and maybe he's already dating, or maybe he's already in a relationship, or maybe he's even married, or maybe he just doesn't want me, or maybe he's happily single. what advice would you give to somebody who is a woman and she wants to approach a man, a brother?
I wouldn't personally approach him, but I would want to find out more about him.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I would do is probably talk to the friends or people that know that person, or get to find out a little bit more. Maybe even like, I think it's okay to, even if you are in the same congregation, to ask to go out with him in service.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong if you're in a group.
No, absolutely.
So I think that's a good way to get to know someone
Absolutely.
a little bit more, especially
Absolutely.
if they're out in service. That shows.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean that they're super spiritual, but you can know a lot more about that
Right,
person.
right.
And when they're talking at the door or whatever
Right.
it is, you kind of, especially women, we're really, most of us are really detailed, and we like to notice little things that
Right.
other people wouldn't notice, or guys wouldn't notice on women. But you get to see those little things.
For sure.
Just try to be in like around wherever he hangs out, not
Right.
be like a stalker, but like try to be in those groups, you know.
Well, I noticed you said the other day when somebody inquired about this, and they said, you know, hey, I'm a sister, but something that you mentioned to me was, you know, Ryan, things have changed so much. And you know what, I've come to recognize that as well, where she said, things have changed so much where it was always the man to approach the woman.
Mm-hmm.
But in this generation, in this world, it's not uncommon, and there's nothing wrong with what you said the other day for a sister to approach a brother.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, you don't want to be like so like,
Right.
you know, I like you, I want to go, like, no. But there's nothing wrong with approaching
You
the brother,
taking the initiative
because
without him.
a lot of times a lot of brothers are shy, and
Right.
they don't want to, it's not that they don't like you,
Right.
they're just shy, and they probably feel intimidated by
Right.
you.
Or maybe they think, I want to ask you out, but they're scared.
Right, they're intimidated. Maybe they think that you're just so pretty and so gorgeous that, oh my
Right.
gosh, I don't know if she's gonna like me or whatever
Right.
it is. And sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes a
Right.
girl has to go and
Right.
take the first step.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Because then, like my husband said, you're gonna always live that life. Like, you know, like what if somebody else approaches him, another sister
Yep.
that didn't have any trouble doing it,
Right.
and they end up with them, and you're always gonna be like, no, this should have been with me. I knew he kind of liked me.
Right.
Like I heard from other sisters, you know, that
Right.
he inquired about me,
Right.
and I never took my chance and asked them. You know,
Yep.
like guys are shy too, like women are, but we're living in a new generation where women, sisters, it's okay, I like in a respectful way, to go up to a brother and say, hey, you know, I would like to know like more about you. Would
Right.
you like to hang out? You know,
Right.
like it doesn't have to be something with the two of you, but it could be in a group of brothers and
Right.
sisters, and like a gathering or whatever
Yeah,
it is,
could
and
be
you get
anything.
to know each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. And one of the best lines, if you're looking, well, what's the line? What's the words? Well, you know what I mean? You could follow this verbiage, but it's entirely, you know, up to your own self-awareness of what you're comfortable with. But one of the best things that you can go up to a brother or a sister, whichever one you're interested in, go up to them and say, hey, I don't know if you really know me, if you've noticed me at all, but hey, I was thinking, you know, perhaps you and I could get together, you know, sometime in field service. Would that work okay with you? And if they're like, no, I wouldn't like to work with you in service, then they're probably not interested, right? I mean, that's a pretty good indicator. If the brother or sister says, no, I wouldn't like to work with you in service, they probably don't want to be with you. It's not always the case. You have to remember that if you said, hey, would you like to work with me in service this Saturday, and you're a woman, when you're asking a brother, that, and he says no, that doesn't mean he's not interested. That doesn't mean he doesn't like you. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to do anything with you. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to marry you. That doesn't even mean he doesn't want to work with you. See, so many times we interpret things in our minds and we think they attach this huge meaning of, no, he doesn't want me, he's not interested, and all this other stuff, but he's with men, he's literally just saying no. And what he's saying is, no, I can't go out this Saturday. That can mean he just has errands, he has plans, he's doing something else, he's working with somebody, he's going to be away. There's a variety of different things. It doesn't mean he's not interested in you. So you could follow up with, okay, well, what day of the week, or what Saturday, or what weekday or weekend would work best for you? Follow up. Just because somebody says no does not mean that they're not interested. But one of the best things that we're trying to get across is put yourself in a spiritual environment. It's cool, because you kind of get that, like, you know, spiritual atmosphere and the protection and all that other good stuff. But the coolest thing is it doesn't come off as like too much. Like, hey, would you like to work with me in service? You work on one-on-one, go to door to door, get to know each other a little bit more. And that's for both, for men and for women.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
I just think also too, sometimes it might be misinterpreted because you might be from different congregations and they have a different culture. So sometimes working with a brother by yourself, even if it's in service, is not good. It's not allowed or whatever it is.
And that's when it comes down to self-awareness.
Yeah, exactly. So that could be another, thing that you have to notice sometimes, because it doesn't mean that they don't like you or whatever it is. Maybe they just feel wrong and they don't think it's correct for a brother and a sister to work together. So sometimes you have to remember, the different cultures and how they do things in different congregations.
100%.
Yeah.
So hopefully, friends, this was a huge help to you. We know that a lot of people are ready to get married. Some people are, happily content single, and that's to each his own. Whatever's good, whatever makes you happy, live a happy life. That's our biggest motto. But the biggest thing is you have to get over your fear, associate the pain to not asking, and associate the pleasure to asking. And the best thing of going up to somebody is you just knowing, hey, they like me or they don't. What's the worst that can happen? They tell you no, great, you move on.
Hey, sometimes just because they say no, they might not like you. They might not have liked you before, but the fact that you had the confidence to go up to them, they'd be like, "Hey, that guy,
I never noticed him. I never
really
noticed
like,
him.
like I would never do that. Like, I kind of like him now, or I kind of like her now. Like, I think I probably would like to go out with them.
100%.
Like sometimes just doing that might just spark that little, interest and then wanted to know more about you. So,
absolutely.
I mean, the worst that can happen is they say no, but then they know that you like them, and maybe I don't know. You never know.
I mean, look, friends, we got people meeting each other on social media, people meeting each other on Instagram, people meeting each other through friends, conventions, and do you know anybody? And people just hooking each other up from all across the world. So we're not saying this is the only way. This is one avenue, and this is really coming from a standpoint of you actually with a local brother or local sister. But if you like this video and we get great feedback, perhaps we'll touch on different videos on how to approach somebody on social media, how to approach somebody at a convention, how to approach somebody at assemblies or internationals and all this other stuff, because it's so many different avenues on how you can find that person that will fill your need for love and connection, and you could spend the rest of your life with them. Look, I didn't meet my wife at my congregation. She didn't meet me. We didn't meet each other on social media. We met from a friend of a friend of a friend that invited us to a gathering. Like, it was crazy. But I just happened to go up to her and we spoke and we talked and things just led to another. So you never know where you're going to meet your loved one. And if you're thinking, well, Ryan, there's nobody in my hall, nobody in my circuit, I can't find anybody. Well,
you're not the only one that feels that way.
Look, there's a lot of different avenues. So give us the feedback. Let us know if you like this video. We'll give you some tips on how you can find somebody on social media, find somebody here, and all this other stuff, because we don't want you to feel that you're in a box. I mean, there's 8 million witnesses. You're gonna tell me you can't find a brother or a sister that doesn't meet all of your needs? Come on, get out of town.
I know there's more sisters than brothers.
Right, but you can definitely find somebody who's great for you. You just gotta look, seek, and you shall find. Keep knocking, and they will answer. Right? That's what the Bible says. So keep going. Don't give up. And give us a phenomenal feedback if you enjoyed this video. If you want us to do more videos like this on how to approach people, how to get that, mingle of friends and, people that perhaps could be your dream boy or girl someday. Let us know in the comments below. All right, family, hopefully you enjoyed this video, like this video, and of course, subscribe. We truly appreciate your love and support. All right, family.
Bye.